Welcome to the second half hour. Give me a break. We're gonna go into the latest school. We're gonna give you the latest on the school shooting that happened days ago. A little bit later in this broadcast. But first, it's first I want to go into senior skip day. It just means like seniors skip class whenever they want to. I mean, the actual definition, if you look it up online. Look at the definition. It's ditch day, senior ditch day, cut day, senior cut day. It's a tradition in American schools. Students in a senior class skip school. It is commonly held Monday following senior prom and a large event. I mean, that's fine, but students have to get their education. For seniors, that's just the thing. If you're a senior, you gotta attend school. Prom is a privilege. It's an after-school function. Every after-school function you have, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, choir, band, ROTC, those are all privileges, and you earn them a step at a time. The thing you have to understand is that when you skip school, you're missing out. They're not going to allow us because it's a safety issue for all students. I tell you this all the time. All schools are responsible for students during the school day. It can cause major problems if they leave school without permission. And I gotta tell you this, that greatly concerns me. I have an employee that goes on break, but he's like two to 3 minutes late on his break. The reason why that is because he's probably sitting at home, like watching TV. That just greatly disappointed me because, first of all, if someone's on break, left their station for break, I gotta be able to watch that station. But if he's taking a longer break without notifying the manager, then that puts me in a tight spot that I can't take my own break. Yes, it puts me in a really tight spot, a tight situation to where I can't eat lunch, I can't get stuff done, I can't even go back to my own station. So the thing is with this, we have to teach seniors that it's not okay to skip school. It's been since 1998. Because you skip, that's a cut. Just because you're a senior doesn't mean you have the right to do anything. Rules are for everyone. Rules are rules. They're for everyone. There are no special privileges around here. None. I don't care if you're like number one in the class or something like that, but rules are for everyone. There ain't no special privileges around here. But you need to understand this. Parents, you've got to understand. If your child who's a senior skips school and he says left home, you ask him why, because it's senior skip day, don't just be okay with it. Just say, hey, take him back to school. Because it's the thing that always happens all the damn time. We see kids skipping school because... Excuse me. Because nobody knows that when you skip school, you're actually not getting your education. That is the whole point to this. you're not getting your education you want to get. It's just not enough for this. I mean, you have to get your education. That is the whole point of going to school. The whole point of going to school is to get your education. Not to talk to friends, not to film videos for your YouTube. As a matter of fact, if you film and post on YouTube, the school's going to find out about it and they can tell you to delete the video. And filming on school property, that is the biggest issue ever. If you're like Jack Doherty in his school, you film on school property, you're going to get suspended and then a meeting with the Board of Education. And just 4 weeks ago, the Washington Post did an article that said schools are now letting students stay home sick for mental health days. I mean, in the face of rising rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide among young people, some states and school systems have started allowing students to take mental sick days off from school. Utah changed its definition of valid excuses for absences to include mental health issues this summer. And this summer, Oregon enacted a law driven by a group of high school activists that allows students to take days off of mental health. Students in other states, including Colorado, Florida, and Washington, are attempting to get similar laws passed. But suicidal thoughts among teens ages 18 and 19 increased about 46% from the age of 2017. Suicide attempts among people are ages 22 to 23 had doubled. A study from the CDC and Prevention Month show this month show that the rate of suicide increased by 56% to 2007 to 2017. Ages 10 and 14. Experts cannot easily explain a mental illness among other youths. I mean, you can't it's a law. I mean, no one cares if it's a law. I mean, mental health. I mean, if you're planning on suicide, you take days off. That's not right. I mean, out of school suspension. I talked about this before. Out of school suspension just means you're out of school, and they think it's like your day off of school. You can just go do whatever you want. No, it means you're suspended from school until your suspension is over. That's discipline. You can't just assume that you're going to be you're going to have like out of school suspension and then assume that what you're going to do is not go to is have a day off. But we don't need this happening anymore. Because if a student skips school, gets in his car, drives off, there's going to be a lot of accidents happening. And kids are not going to be going to the hospital because of these accidents, and nobody's doing anything about it. Here, we're going to take a short break. Next, here the latest on a school shooting that happened just last week. In Los Angeles. The latest on what's happening since your local news after the break. Now to the very latest on a school shooting. And let me tell you something. This is another school shooting that's been happening a lot of time. First Columbine, now Sandy Hook. First Columbine, then Sandy Hook, and now Los Angeles. Santa Clara school shooting, weapons and social media are examined for clues. I mean, there were survivors in the school. These were survivors in the school shooting. The person who did the school shooting was a 16-year-old. These two were survivors. And now what they're saying is that they want this to happen, and now we're not going to tell you what happened, but we do know this. After the shooting happened, Senator Richard Blumenthal was of the DCT was given a speech on gun violence in the Senate on the Senate floor when he received word of a deadly school shooting. We can't have this happen every time, because if we were to see these shootings happen, people are going to get hurt every time. And there's just literally no excuse to be killing someone in a school shooting. But here's what we know so far. Authorities this week examining weapons seized from the home of a teenager they said opened fire at a high school, scrubbing social media accounts trying to learn more about what surprised the violence left 2 students, 3 dead in Santa Clarita. The LA County Sheriff's Department homicide captain said the Federal Bureau of Alcohol and Tobacco Firearms Explosives was examining the cache of unregistered weapons seized from the home of Nathaniel Burhow. In addition, homicide detectives are working on the U.S. Secret Service to examine the teen's electronic and social media accounts and Instagram account, initially thought to belong to Burhow and was a hoax created by someone to the aftermath of the shooting. In results, both the weapons and electronics investigations are expected by the end of the week. But the authorities say Burhow carried out the deadly attack on his 16th birthday after being dropped off at the school by his mother. They say school surveillance video shows a boy pulling a pistol from his backpack, opening a fire on a quad, killing a 15-year-old Gracie Ann Mulligan and a 14-year-old Dominic Blackwell, wounding 3 others in an attack that lasted 16 seconds. One point during the attack, the weapon jammed, and the gunman cleared the firearm before he continued shooting. He appeared to know how many shots had been fired and had left the final round for himself into the attack with a gunshot in his head. The sheriff, that's what the sheriff said, but investigators found several firearms during the search of the teen's home, and some were not registered. But investigators did not specify what types of guns were possessed. But they still believe the attack was planned, but that no specific students were targeted. But Burhow's father said to have it hunted, but unclear whether any of the weapons found in the house in that state belonged to him. And now the very latest is that now today we know that we're not getting this. The school will remain closed until December 2nd. That's 2 weeks from now. So now we know this student was arrested. He was taken to the hospital. Victims remained in grave condition while those who knew him. Mark Burrow was arrested for driving under the influence 2013, 2015, pleading no contest twice. Second time he got 45 days in jail, 5 years probation. Jail records said he was booked. So now we know what happened during the school shooting. We need to do something about these school shootings. We need to, I did a video once where I talked about arming teachers, like having teachers bringing guns. President Trump said that it would be a great idea to have teachers armed. But the thing you got to remember is, how are teachers going to defend themselves? Teachers have to make sure the students are okay, and then cover your ears, and then bam, 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 bam. No schools are not allowed teachers to bring firearms. You could be arrested for bringing a firearm to school, which is sometimes it's illegal in some states. Sometimes it ain't. And after looking at this case, and this shooting was from 3 days ago. He could spend life in prison, or might be under the age of 16. He's in jail right now, but we can't confirm what his punishment can be. We have to wait till the court hearing. Until the court hearing happened. We'll probably bring it up to date as it goes. All right. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's a question played out for millions of parents. Well, you're at work. Who's watching your kids? Nobody knows. Maybe your daycare center maybe your daycare provider was arrested for battery, but you never know because you never do your homework. You want to just get your kids in the daycare center, not run references, and then send your child to that daycare center, not knowing that that daycare operator was charged with battery, domestic violence, sexual abuse. Doesn't matter. You need to do next. So this topic got me after watching a Dateline hidden camera investigation into the daycare centers. The reason why we're talking about it is because not many people are coming clean with parents about their arrest record. They need to come clean. And what the state says doesn't even matter. So let's tell you what happened so far. This was in Highland, California. The 53-year-old operator of a Highland daycare facility has been arrested on suspicion with a willful cruelty to a child and false imprisonment, authorities said. On Sunday evening, deputies from Highland Police Station contacted the county sheriff against a joint detail about an investigation on a 5-month-old girl and a 1-year-old boy who attended Drinker Basso Family Childcare, also known as Lullaby 24-Hour Childcare Private Preschool. The 2 children were allegedly victims of child abuse and endangerment, the sheriff said in a statement. The detectives responded to the daycare center fully in the 700 block of 9 Drive on Monday afternoon and contacted the operator, the authorities said. The news release said Drankard Basile was taken into custody and booked. Her bail is set at $100,000. You can win that at Wheel of Fortune. She told a news source that they stem from a disgruntled employee that she recently hired and had to write up on several occasions. She said she turned over 15 videos to investigators she believes will support her. Well, the neighbors spoke up in her defense, but investigators who did not release information reporting allegations say they believe there may be additional victims. If you have any information about the case, you're to call Sheriff's Detective Abels at 909-387-3615. So let's look at one more article, and I'm going to tell you what you need to do. On Thursday in Colorado, officials investigating complaints about a daycare in Colorado Springs found more than 24 children under the age of 3 behind a false wall that led to the basement of the owner's home. Police say owner 58-year-old Carla Faith refused to cooperate with officers. The Department of Human Services asked Colorado Springs Police Department to help a welfare check that at the Play Mountain Place on Willamette Avenue on Wednesday. Officials say they received complaints that the facility was housing more children in their care than their license allowed. When officers arrived, they didn't find any children licensed at the facility. But when officers tried to contact the owner and the residence, which was located in the same property, they said they could hear children making noise. But during that investigation, officers found a false wall that led to the home's basement. These adult workers at the daycare were arrested on misdemeanor child abuse relating to neglect. Those charges were canceled, detectives pending a further investigation, but Faith was not arrested, as detectives pursue appropriate charges. So what should you do? If you want to find a good daycare center, what should you do? Do your homework. You need to do your homework. Find a good daycare operator near you. Find the person that owns the daycare or operates the daycare. You need to write down their name, run it through a reference, and if they have no charges, you're good. And if they committed a crime years ago, you need to act and then show up in person and ask them some tough questions. That way you can understand. Like, just ask them, do you have any crimes? If they say no, then they're probably hiding something. Just ask, can we see your criminal history? If they say no, you walk away. Don't try to argue with them. Do your homework. Always do your homework. Find a daycare center near Corpus Christi. Find out who owns the place. Find out who owns the center. Then want a reference or a background check, because most states will not do background checks. So what you need to do is run the background checks through Google or something. If they committed no crime, then you're good to. They're probably hiding something. They said, "I've not committed a crime in years." You're good to go. If not, you need to find a different daycare center and do the same thing. Then you know your child will be safe in the hands of the best daycare operator ever. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.